You've heard of King Solomon, the wise ruler of ancient Israel, but what they rarely tell you is this. Solomon wasn't just a king, he was an alchemist, a master of the occult arts, who wielded powers that modern science still struggles to explain. Legends speak of a ring, a talisman said to grant him control over spirits and unseen forces. With it, Solomon is said to have commanded legions of entities, built the great temple, and accessed knowledge from beyond this world. But here's what most don't know. This wasn't just myth. The principles behind Solomon's powers align with ancient systems of energy, frequency, and consciousness manipulation. Secrets passed through mystery schools and occult lineages, guarded fiercely for millennia. Why? Because those who master such knowledge can shape reality itself, and a population aware of this would be uncontrollable. That's why this story has been buried beneath layers of religion and myth. But now, the veil is lifting, and if you're watching this, you're already sensing there's more to Solomon's legacy than meets the eye. Stay tuned. What you'll discover next may forever change how you view power, consciousness, and your own potential. And if you resonate with this journey, consider subscribing. There's much more to uncover. So where did Solomon's power truly come from? Legends tell of a mysterious ring, engraved with sacred symbols, known as the Seal of Solomon. But this was no ordinary artifact. The seal encoded ancient knowledge of geometry, sound, and cosmic forces. It was said to grant him the ability to command spiritual beings, not through brute force, but through vibrational alignment. You see, ancient magicians understood that reality is built on frequency. Master the right symbols, the right tones, the right state of consciousness, and you can influence the unseen layers of existence. Solomon was initiated into this wisdom. Some say his knowledge came from Egyptian priests. Others claim he was taught by star-born beings. Whatever the source, he mastered the alchemical principles of as above, so below. He used sacred geometry, sigils, and incantations to bridge dimensions, summoning and binding intelligences to aid his works. And this is where history gets uncomfortable. Many modern systems of magic trace their roots back to the so-called Keys of Solomon, grimoire texts filled with these ancient techniques. Why does this knowledge remain taboo? Because in the wrong hands, it can be misused, but in the right hands, it reveals that the mind is not bound by physical laws. And here's the key. These principles are not fiction. They tap into the same forces studied in quantum physics and consciousness research today. If this is sparking your curiosity, drop a comment below. What part of this resonates with you? In the next part, we'll explore how Solomon built his temple, not just as a place of worship, but as a living machine of power. Stay tuned. Solomon's temple was not just a place of worship. It was a living machine, designed to channel and amplify unseen energies. Its architecture wasn't random. Every measurement, every proportion, every symbol was deliberate. The temple was aligned with celestial movements, functioning as a massive resonator between Earth and the stars. The pillars, Boaz and Jachin, weren't mere decorations. They encoded sacred geometry, creating vibrational gateways. Within the temple, sacred tones and chants were used to activate resonant chambers, generating frequencies that altered consciousness. Priests trained in the occult arts used these chambers to enter trance states, receive visions, and interface with non-physical intelligences. The materials used, gold, copper, cedar, were chosen for their energetic properties. Gold conducts subtle energy. Copper amplifies fields. Cedar holds and stabilizes vibration. Combined, they created an environment where the boundary between the seen and unseen became thin. And here's the secret. These principles mirror modern discoveries in acoustics, cymatics, and quantum field theory. The ancients understood what we are only beginning to rediscover. Space is not empty. It is filled with subtle forces that can be harnessed. And Solomon's temple was a monumental tool for this purpose. Why has this been hidden? Because knowledge of how to consciously shape reality threatens every system built on fear and control. But now, fragments of this wisdom are re-emerging. And in the next part, you'll discover how Solomon's occult knowledge connects to the most mysterious texts in Western magic. Stay tuned. The deeper layers await. Much of what we know about Solomon's occult knowledge comes through the mysterious texts known as the Keys of Solomon, grimoires that shaped the foundation of Western magic. These books, though attributed to Solomon, were compiled centuries later, preserving fragments of his teachings on sigil magic, spirit invocation, and energy manipulation. But here's what most don't realize. The techniques described are practical systems for interacting with the subtle fabric of reality. Drawing sigils tunes your consciousness to specific frequencies. Performing rituals creates coherent energy fields that influence both mind and environment. Using sacred names and words aligns sound vibration with cosmic forces. These are not superstitions. They are methods of energy work grounded in ancient principles. Even today, modern magicians and esoteric practitioners use these systems, often unknowingly tapping into the same currents Solomon mastered. Why does this persist? Because it works. When approached with understanding and discipline, these techniques can expand awareness, accelerate manifestation, deepen intuition, shift one's energetic state. Of course, this is why such knowledge was often kept secret. With great power comes great responsibility, and without the proper grounding, such practices can lead to imbalance. But in the right hands, they unlock the deeper potentials of the human being. If this resonates with you, consider subscribing. There's much more to explore in these hidden currents. In the next part, you'll learn how Solomon's knowledge of alchemy played a key role in his occult power, and how that connects to personal transformation today. Stay with this. Many know Solomon as a king. Few realize he was also a master alchemist. But what is alchemy really? It's not just turning lead into gold. At its core, alchemy is the science of transformation, both material and spiritual. As within, so without. As above, so below. Solomon applied this principle on every level. In his temple, he constructed spaces that transmuted raw energy into elevated states. In his own being, he pursued inner alchemy, refining consciousness toward wisdom and power. In his rulership, he sought harmony between the seen and unseen, balancing the forces of his kingdom. Alchemical texts suggest that Solomon worked with elixirs, substances that tuned the body to higher frequencies, sacred geometry to align mind and matter, planetary correspondences to harmonize with cosmic cycles. But here's the deeper key. The true alchemy Solomon practiced was the alchemy of the soul. Through disciplined ritual, meditation, and energetic work, he transformed himself, unlocking latent abilities and expanding awareness. And this is why his legend endures. Because the path he walked is open to us all. You may not build a temple or command spirits, but you can practice inner alchemy. Master your breath and energy. Align your environment with sacred patterns. Refine your thoughts and emotions into coherent force. This is the modern path of the alchemist. And if this speaks to you, drop a comment below. Which aspect of Solomon's alchemy intrigues you most? In the next part, we'll explore how Solomon's seal and magical system influenced secret societies, and why they guard this knowledge so fiercely even today. Stay tuned. The legacy of Solomon's occult power didn't end with his reign. His knowledge, especially the Seal of Solomon, became one of the most coveted symbols in esoteric circles. The seal, a six-pointed star within a circle, represents the union of opposites. Spirit and matter, masculine and feminine, above and below. It is a gateway, a vibrational key to access higher planes. Over centuries, secret societies adopted this symbol. The Freemasons embedded it in their architecture and rituals. The Rosicrucians used it in alchemical diagrams. Hermetic orders worked with its geometry to unlock hidden states of awareness. Why? Because the seal encodes powerful energetic principles. When used with intention, it aligns the practitioner with universal forces, protects against disruptive energies, acts as a focus for manifestation and spiritual ascent. But here's the hidden side. Those in control of this knowledge understood its true value, not as decoration, but as a tool of power. That's why much of this system was veiled in secrecy, accessible only to initiates. Guard the key from the unready. Yet today, as global consciousness rises, fragments of this wisdom are returning to the open. And you don't need to join a secret order to benefit. By understanding the principles behind the seal and Solomon's system, you can begin aligning your own life with these ancient forces. If you'd like to explore practical ways to do this, consider liking this video and subscribing, because what we'll explore next is crucial. Why this knowledge is resurfacing now, and how your awakening fits into a larger shift. Stay tuned. The final part will reveal much. Why is the occult knowledge of Solomon resurfacing now? Because the world is entering a time of accelerated awakening. For centuries, humanity was trapped in systems designed to suppress higher potential. But as consciousness rises globally, the old veils are lifting, and with them, ancient truths long kept in the shadows are returning to the light. Solomon's teachings on energy, geometry, alchemy are part of this resurgence, not for the sake of curiosity, for the sake of empowerment, because in a world drowning in chaos and distraction, reconnecting with these universal principles is revolutionary. Here's how you can begin. Study sacred geometry. Start with the Seal of Solomon. Practice breathwork and sound to attune your energy. Engage with symbols consciously. Let them speak to your deeper awareness. Cultivate inner alchemy, refining thought, emotion, and action. And most importantly, share your journey. When you embody this wisdom, you inspire others. Your coherence strengthens the collective field. The light of one who remembers ignites the flame in many. This is why your participation matters. If this resonates with you, comment below. What are you most curious to explore? And if you wish to walk this path further, consider subscribing. We'll be exploring many more hidden layers together, because in the final part, you'll see this awakening is not just personal, it is planetary, and your role in it is more vital than you've been told. Stay tuned. The final key awaits. You've journeyed through the hidden story of Solomon, not just as a king, but as an alchemist of reality. And here's the deeper truth. The same forces Solomon mastered are alive today. The same keys he used still turn, waiting for those ready to remember. The temple is not of stone. The seal is not of metal. The true power lies within. You are the initiate. Your mind, your breath, your intention are the tools. Now, more than ever, the world needs awakened beings who embody this wisdom, who move with coherence amidst chaos, who radiate balance in a divided world, who remember that consciousness shapes reality. This is why the knowledge is resurfacing, not to create followers, but to spark sovereign creators. And you are one of them. So begin simply. Work with the symbols. Align your energy. Speak and act from a place of deep resonance. And share your path. Your voice matters. Drop a comment below. What insight from Solomon's legacy resonated most for you? Your reflection may guide another seeker. And if this message spoke to you, consider liking this video and subscribing. Together, we are weaving the new pattern, one awakened heart at a time. The temple is within, the time is now, and your light is needed. This is only the beginning.